Hello? Well, no, I'm actually recording an interview right now. You want to say hi? She said what?
You want me to say hi?
Say hi.
Hi.
Who are you?
I am Xavier's mom. Who am I saying hi to?
The camera?
The camera, they can't see me.
I'm recording an interview.
Well, hi. Hi. I just ran past the collective because I was going to bring you some soup.
Oh, and I'm drinking some tea right now too.
And you weren't there, so I didn't want you to think I was just coming by, just being nosy and just kind of, creeping by, seeing who's over there. I was actually coming to bring good deeds to you, to do a good deed and bring some soup to you.
That's really special because I just read the thing on this end. It says love is the highest of all virtues.
Oh, yeah. You didn't have to read that to realize that. You should know that since you were a child when you were taught that in 1 Corinthians.
So, they told us we got to get back on set. We got to get back on set, so I got to call you back. Bye.
1 Corinthians 13 is a love chapter.
Bye.
I just thought I'd let you know. Bye.
Rolling. So I think it's important for me to probably introduce myself. I go by Xavier Tremaine. That is who I am, and that's also my Instagram name. I am a creator, a catalyst, and a connector. That's what I kind of formally go by. I am a community member. I'm an advocate for change, a mentor, a friend. But, I'm sure you all are here for something else. So I'll take you all on this journey. When I first heard about this collaboration, it was crazy. I am the CEO of the Humble Hustle Company, a nonprofit organization based in Roanoke, Virginia, president of Imagine Me Mentoring, the first Black school-based mentoring agency in Roanoke, Virginia, creative director for Humble Hustle Clothing, creative director for the collective, and I'm just me. I am the little boy still that is riding around with my grandfather, listening to old music. I like outside. I love being outside. I love colors. I love plants. I love aesthetics. I love traveling. That's when I'm the freest. I'll say it again, I love food. I'm a very creative person. My ideas are ever flowing, and I'm a very blessed individual. And there's nothing I won't try. But I'm a lover of family, a lover of friends, I love community, I love art. Easygoing, I just like to laugh. I like to have fun, and I like to laugh. I'm so goal-oriented. You can see my passion kind of rising up because I'm so goal-oriented, and I want to see things work, and I know the visions that I have and see are not just by chance. All of these things, from me loving dogs to loving music, all of that kind of culminates together. And when afforded the opportunity, that's what you see when I'm doing events, when I'm creating clothes, or when I'm providing a platform for anybody to bring forth their talents and gifts. All of those things, that make up myself get brought forth. I grew up with a family. I grew up with a big family. Family reunions, big cookouts. a lot of laughing, a lot of joking, a lot of community. Morals and values were shaped very, very early. That community, that giving spirit, I owe that all to my grandmother. And I think my family is what shaped my view of what community is supposed to be and look like. I can honestly say there's a lot of influences that have gotten me to this tunnel vision of like, I want to be in this lane. All of those things are comprised into one, but I would definitely say my mother, she never limited, sometimes. But she never limited me. She never was like, you can't be who you are. And if she did, I always fought it.
I am who I say I am. I'm Donna. I am, of course, the mother of you, but I'm a cool woman. I am loving, caring, giving. You, from a little boy, you were always determined to wear whatever you wanted to wear. Not so much that you went against what I had you wear, for certain things, but you always wanted your own style. But most of the time you didn't match. Most of the time you're
You wild.
But you may not match, but it was your own style. Like now, you don't match now, but it's nothing on you. That's what not for losers, because I match. So not that there was anything wrong with you not matching. It was just that that's not what I cared for. So, but I let you do it because you were comfortable. It didn't affect anything, and as long as I knew you were comfortable and you could wear what you wanted to wear, be free, express yourself how you wanted to, and you didn't care about that. And because you didn't care about that, that's when I knew, let him be, as long as he knows what's appropriate for, certain things, just let him be, and it was okay. I made sure you were around all different types of cultures. You were always exposed to, you grew up in the county, you grew up, outdoors, you did a lot of things that county kids do, just kind of roaming free, climbing trees, whatever the case. But I also made sure you did things in the city. Right. You played sports in the city a lot. You hung with city kids. You went to things in the city that wasn't offered in the county. But I did that so that you could kind of see both sides. Yeah. And then you were so comfortable with who you were, no matter whether you were with blacks, with whites, with mixed races. Didn't matter. Right. Didn't matter what setting you were in, you would be comfortable with yourself. Yeah, but you always, so it started because at a young age, you always thought you could do anything, of course. So you tried to play music. Papa had a trumpet that you found, and a French horn that you found in the basement.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out why did he have it?
Because he just had all kinds of stuff that But you found that, and you went outside like you was at nannies, like you were Miles Davis, and went out there and sat on the little old wrought iron wheel that Daddy had, Mom and them had at the entrance of the driveway. And we came outside. You were a little boy. You were out there trying to play that horn. But you got some sound out of it. Right. And so Dad always said, hey, let him do it. You never know, let him get exposed, so let him do it. So that's what we did. So the next thing you did, you said you wanted to play the saxophone. And with the church, you played your saxophone in church every Sunday. But I read a long time ago that your child is in band or in music, they're more likely to succeed. Go to college, but succeed, not even just college, it was more likely to succeed in life. And when it was succeeding, it was just saying that they do better academically, they do better with culturally, they just do better altogether. You start learning photography and it starts to a little business for you. And that's what kind of got you going, in the arts, actually, as a grown person, as a grown adult, which led to from one thing to the next,
So when it was like 2015, 16, and I had just moved back home. I just started the nonprofit, and everything was going well, and it was moving, and just a backstory. I started the nonprofit because when I moved home, I felt like it was just like a blank canvas. Roanoke was like a blank canvas. Like you could really just create anything you wanted. There was so much potential in this city. I mean, there still is. I still think Roanoke is like a breeding ground for potential. That's a whole nother story, but you know what I'm saying? Like the platform is just not there all the time to skyrocket us up out of here, to get known or to get seen. But Roanoke is a breeding ground for potential, or for talent, I would say. And I just felt like there was so many things that were going on that were just like standard. There was nothing that was like, oh, wow, that type of thing. There was nothing there from my eyes coming back from a bigger city. It wasn't no like, I didn't see that many like young people like, pushing the limit on what could be. And so I worked in the schools, and so, me and some of my friends, Gerard, Bree, we all started doing back to school drives. And the back to school drives turned into coat drives, and then the coat drives turned into parties. And so I was known for like community, but also just like having fun. Like people knew I knew where the spots were. Like I knew where to go for everything. I could tell you where the best food is, the best drinks, so on and so forth. But I could also like tell you how to advocate for the community, what the community needed, who was doing what, who needed what. Like, so it was like a cool balance that I've always had, and I've always been good with like both sides of the track, right? Like I've always been good in every hood. Yeah. My senior year of high school, my church has a mission, like a missionary in Ghana, Africa. And that's really where my relationship with God really sparked off, because it was a lot of prayer.
And you came to me weeks later and said, Mom, going. The issue was whether you would pass on that so that you could definitely be captain on the football team, because it was your senior year, you were trying to get recruits, you wanted to shine that year, but also you didn't want to miss two-a-days. And two-a-days was going to fall right in there. You want to sit down and eat? Okay. So two-a-days would fall right in the midst of you going to Africa. And you're going to be gone a little bit over 2 weeks. And I remember saying to you, it's up to you. You was like, I'm going to go on a missions trip. And I said, for real? And you said, yep. And you said, I prayed about it. And you said, I prayed about it, and God told me that's where I should go. And you worked with kids, and we do have pictures of you working with kids over there in Africa. And you really didn't care for other kids much. Besides your friends.
Because you always had kids with you at the church.
I did. I had kids with me all the time. I did, and you were mean. You got to be a little mean to those kids. Like,
I think we was the only child, but I don't really feel like I was the only child. There was always kids around.
But you were still the only child, and you made.
The only child as far as like.
But you made it known that you are the only child of Donna, and certain things you're not going to get away with
Is
just
that a
because.
claim that's false?
I was concerned when you went to Africa, and when you came back and said.
I was gonna beat them kids.
I didn't think you were gonna do that, but when you came back and said how much you loved those kids, that was that was like the highlight. And you came back and said, it was like, oh my God, something's changing this boy. But when you came back, I knew then you're gonna do something with kids. You're gonna do something with helping youth. You start working with kids. You work in the schools in Virginia Beach, and Norfolk, Hampton. You work with families with kids, you work with troubled kids, you start mentoring, you start having kids walk with you all the time, work with you all the time. And then when you came back here and start working, that was one of the first things you start doing. And so I knew then at that young age, when you made that decision to go on that mission trip, it changed your life. It totally changed your life and totally changed how you viewed kids, but also how you saw the need to help kids. Especially unfortunate kids who didn't have some of the things that you had growing up and didn't have, they may not even have a parent, period, but they definitely didn't have the opportunities that you were awarded. everything that you do some kind of way, and somewhere in there, whether it's Humble Hustle clothing or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's all about the youth. Everything, the mentoring is all about the youth. You're passionate about the kids now. So you ate that kind of fast, but there is no more.
And I thank God every day that opportunity presented itself. Understand, cool, like your talent, your raw talent is football, and that's what you're afforded these opportunities for. But never dismiss the opportunity to give and serve, because once you realize that it's not about you and that those blessings really do end up coming back, the more that you give, you'll forever be, full of grace and wisdom and full of love because of the amount that you've been able to give. My trip to Africa definitely changed my life. I've always been good. So it was one of those things where, as the nonprofit was building, I started to realize, as I started getting deeper into it, I was like, okay, there needs to be some type of sustainability like mechanism to keep this thing going. Because at that point, 2017, I had quit my job. So, I worked in schools for a little while, didn't like what I was doing. So I quit. And I started running the nonprofit full time. I was working at UPS at night. I was renting my house out. I was Airbnb-ing. I was sleeping on the couch. Like, I was hustling. And, in full transparency, like, I knew the moment that I quit my job that it was gonna be tough. I didn't know it was gonna be that tough. But, as a full-time entrepreneur at that time, like, I knew for sure, without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, that I would never quit. Like, I knew for a fact, like, all right, this is what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my life. It may evolve into different things, which it has, but I knew for sure, like, I know God's got me. And I know if I just trust this thing, because I could see it. Like, when I quit my job, I could see exactly what could be. I could see, like, parties, I could see community, I could see all types of stuff. Every product, every idea, everything that is ever created or that comes to life from my head that ultimately goes to our team, and it's generated some way, somehow, comes from me kind of looking in the mirror and saying, okay, this is what I needed when I was a kid, or this is what my mother needed. I think it all stems from not so much repeating the cycle and using excuses, but being the change. So that's kind of where these initiatives from Humble Hikes, I'm saying, you take Humble Hikes and you really look at my background of where I really grew up, right? Like, my grandfather's backyard is so many acres full of like outdoorsy stuff, and where we used to just walk around, no shoes, no socks. Or if you take, like, pretty humble, and I look at my mother, right? Single parent, young mother, the things that she needed as far as like financial literacy and the mind that she has that would have been perfectly shaped for entrepreneurship. So that's why we do Pretty Humble. If you look at like the coat drive and the back to school drive, that's just simple. That's simple. That's just like filling a need in the community. So each and everything that we do, from the nonprofit to the mentoring to the clothing, is simply just like not making an excuse, but just filling a need and allowing my gifts to just kind of pour into the world. It's not that many, young black men that make it out of Roanoke, and it's far less that come back. So coming back, it was like, all right, bet. Like, I see a hole here, boom, I'm gonna fill it. I see a hole here, boom, I'm gonna fill it. Nobody's doing photography? All right, cool, I'm gonna do photography. Nobody's doing this? All right, cool, we're gonna do this. The back to school job, it looks like this. Let's get to me, Gerard, Bria, let's get together, let's do it at the pool. All right, let's give out free shoes. Let me call my cousin, here's a connect with Nike. Let's give out free shoes. So I felt like we was just doing everything that nobody else was doing. And that was a lane that I felt like Roanoke always had, is this lane, or I felt like Roanoke was always this blank canvas. And I tell people all the time, Roanoke is a blank canvas, you can paint what you want. It's the perfect city for creation. It's low cost, it's low risk, right? You could really just create whatever you want, figure it out. If it scales to another city, so be it. But that was kind of where Humble Hustle really derived from, is just like seeing holes in the city and knowing that God has blessed me with a tremendous amount of creativity. And if I put it in the right place, then it would soar.
What we've tried to do with Humble Hustle, with the clothing, with Imagine Me, you know, anything that I'm involved in, it is very much about building community.
When you can see more, you can believe more, you hope to be more, because it unlocks your mind to say like, these things are possible.
So knowing your situation, right, with you and your brothers, you know what I'm saying, y'all have been through some stuff. Like, so how do you feel like it's helped you in any way, shape, or form? Like, do you feel like the way that we've kind of gotten you outdoors or in a different element, or not just the traditional sports and things like that, do you feel like it's helped any?
Yeah, I feel like I could be more open to other people.
Okay.
And push myself to or past my limits.
Yeah.
And keep trying.
Mm-hmm. When you say
positive thoughts.
When you say open yourself to other people, like what do you mean?
Like before, I would not be able to like talk to people like that, and now I could talk to a lot of people and meet new people every day. Cause I would have probably been too like scared to scared to try new things or meet new people.
Yeah. What is it about like the outdoors that you feel like how does it feel when, like, right now, how do you feel?
Relax.
Relax. Yeah, I feel like honestly for me, like true transparency, I feel like I've become like way more grounded with like nature, being outdoors. Do you feel like all kids have these opportunities to do? You feel like every kid should have this opportunity to do things like this?
I was a kid with no friends.
Okay.
Well, a few friends.
Yeah.
A quiet kid.
You was talking so well. I thought you was gonna say words that you didn't know.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I couldn't think of none.
Huh?
I couldn't think of none.
Told you can't say words you don't know anyway, because that don't mean you don't know what you're saying. Give me three characteristics of who you are.
Intelligent. Respectful. Outgoing.
Outgoing? Okay. All right. The program, right, is built to expose, you know what I'm saying, black kids to outdoor recreation. Like, right, did you know any of this stuff existed?
No.
No?
No.
None of it?
No, not all of it.
For real?
Yeah.
Why do you think you didn't know about it?
Because no one really told me about any of this.
Okay. Do you feel like that's something that happens to a lot of us, like, or at least, let's just say the kids in your school, right? Do you feel like, how many of them do you think have done some of the stuff you've done?
Not very much of them.
Why do you think that?
Just from the way they act.
So you feel like environment has a lot to do with like the things that you're able to do?
Yes.
Okay.
And the people, you know.
And the people that you know? Okay.
Yes.
So you like knowing us?
Yes.
Yeah. You've been the big brother, right? I've watched you take care of James. I've watched you take care of Trayshawn. I've watched you sacrifice things. I've watched you. I know, like I'm saying, the stuff that's really happened. Like what type of things do you feel like you've been able to learn with just simply just being outdoors? Like,
I learned a lot of things that I didn't know before about just nature and the horses. Like, I didn't know horses could feel emotions.
right.
I feel like I've grown and matured as a person through doing humble hikes and all this, because like I haven't did none of this before, and now I've learned a lot of stuff about nature I didn't know. And I like being outside now more than before, and it makes me happy to know all this stuff is out here.
Right.
There's no reason to just be stuck in the same cycle where you can do different things in life.
We are a very, very big, small organization. Very family oriented, from the nonprofit to the clothing, from the clothing to the mentoring, from the mentoring to the collective. We're in the mode of strategy. We're in the mode of let's get to year 50. There's so many black organizations and black business owners that don't get to year 10. So we're at year 9. So, you know what I'm saying? We have to get to year 10. So understanding, you know, that team comes first. Like, my ideas are nothing without being able to delegate it properly and put my team in the position to where they can do what they do best. Humble Hustle Clothing, I've always had this like knack for fashion. When I was young, like my mom, like one of the main things that she always told me, like, just be yourself. Just be yourself. Like, don't care what nobody wears. Don't care what nobody says about what you're wearing. Like, be comfortable in the clothes that you're wearing. No, naturally, I mean, there's some things you can't wear to some places, right? But like, for the most part, like, I really enjoy putting things together. And I usually base like my outfits or like fashion on emotion. So it's based off of like how I feel. And I put that same creativity into the clothes that I make. When it dives into the clothing for exposure, like, you know, I've always been exposed to fashion. I've always been exposed to clothes, and I've worked hard to get the things that I want to wear and things like that. But I knew in order to expose the youth to the things that I wanted, that I saw them being exposed to, I had to create a lane for funding. And an easy way at that time was selling t-shirts. And so, but I also needed to feed myself, right? Like, I also needed to feed myself. I had to do something to put food on the table. I like to eat, so. Events and creation and innovation are one of those things that I've been able to watch over the last close to 10 years grow by failure. So my creative process in that is just do it. Like, you may not get the turnout. Everybody might not understand. People will complain. But at the end of the day, if you can say you executed, you win. And that in itself lives longer than what didn't go right. And I've learned so many things about community and, you know, marketing and things like that throughout the thing. But my creative process in events is, especially for my city, it's what do they need? What's gonna get them out of this box? What's gonna get their minds to think about where they should go, what they should see, the things that I've been afforded to travel all over the world and see. What's gonna get my people in my community that haven't been afforded that yet to be like, this feels like this. This feels like this. This feels like, oh, I saw this, right? Whether I put a spin on it or not. But like, that's my creative process, is like, how do I bring things back to my community for the people who aren't afforded those opportunities to get out of the city and make them feel good too. One of my favorite quotes from Nipsey is the highest human act is to inspire. Whether it's for what does black travel look like with Virginians for Lovers and Humble Hustle? What does an outdoor collaboration look like with Department of Wildlife Resource? Like, what does a festival look like, right, in the middle of the city, done by you know what I'm saying, predominantly black organization? Everything is for, let's do something that hasn't been done, and let's shift the narrative of what it's supposed to look like, and let's expose, let's empower, let's educate, because those are our pillars. Let's make sure that we do that in everything we do, and everything's gonna be all right. You know, I had written down like a lot of goals, and I was just like, I never ever thought like this would be the one. I knew it would be big, and I knew I would always do big things. Like I know that's what God has for me. Boom, I jump in, and then that's when it started. Like, but to me, I knew it was big. Like I knew, all right, this is it. Like this is the moment. Like this is the one that's gonna knock it out the park. And it took a while. A lot of communication started to happen, but I know for sure. I remember that day very vividly, and I was overwhelmed with joy. I called my mom. I remember praying about it, but it's allowed me to really like grow. And just looking back 3 years ago, knowing like that's where you were, and now I see myself now. The game has definitely changed. I definitely remember the email. A very happy day. And it was very simple and straightforward. We like what you're doing. We want to be a part of it. But when I saw who it was, that's when I was like, okay, yo, we turned up. We turned up. Like this is it. 1 million followers coming soon. Let me call my mama, my grandmother. Like it's up. Like it's really up, right? Like I called Taylor. Like it's up.
My name is Taylor Bush, and I serve as the account manager for a lot of Xavier's entities, including the Humble Hustle Clothing, Xavier Tremaine Creative Consulting, and the Humble Hustle Company. When I found out that Xavier had a clothing brand that was used not only to make people look really cool, but also to kind of support the local community, I was super excited. Like early winter spring of 2020, he had found out about the opportunity, and I'll never forget, one day he called me. I was like walking, it was snowing. He calls me and he's like, "You'll never guess what news I got today." And then he told me about the collaboration. I was like, "That's so amazing. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations. It's going to be major." He was telling me just like he was completely in awe. I was just super excited for my friend. I had no clue at that time what it would also do for me as a creative and a professional. But yeah, I'll never forget when he called me with that news that day.
So I went to work. I started to get with my graphic designers, get with people that were on our team to draw up concepts and come up with narratives and statements and definitions that could put this concept into a box. And that's exactly what we did. And I dream big. Like I'm a big dreamer. So shout out to Growth, Black Travel, right? It was the rewritten narrative. It was rewriting the narrative of like what travel looked like in Virginia. And there is so much like rich history here. Of course, the first word that comes to mind is love, because we do push like very inspiring messages and messages of love and hope. But the story has to be told. What we've gone through has been crazy. Going into that collaboration, absolutely, I had expectations. I'm immediately, as I saw the logo, I'm visualizing concepts. That's the essence of collaboration, is understanding that it's two parties, and it's no different than a boyfriend girlfriend, and you can go into it with everything you want, but with patience, with love, with sacrifice, with understanding, with personal awareness, and with that main word with love. Like, things transpire and you're able to figure it out. So I definitely went into it with expectations, and it's been a hell of a ride.
Virginia is for lovers.
757 is for lovers.
Cork Coast for lovers, y'all. Cork Coast for lovers.
Norfolk State is for lovers, man.
1865 is for lovers.
Humble Hustle's for lovers.
Keep your hustler spirit.
Keep your humble mentality.
Virginia is for lovers.
Rich Wine is for lovers.
757 is for lovers.
Genus is for lovers.
She's International is for lovers.
R&D is for lovers.
Urban Hang Suite is for lovers. Wow. 2 up, 2 down.
So immediately upon acquiring the collaboration and signing contracts and things like that, right? Like, you start to realize what you're actually ready for. So when that came across with Virginians for Lovers, it definitely tested me. It has very much tested me because you're dealing with something that hasn't ever been done before. You're dealing with something that is not really apparel forward, right? This is a travel brand. This is a tourism brand. This is a brand that is seeking people from other cities and states to notice that sign and to understand, I need to book this hotel. That is the tourism brand. This is not a small brand that's in the heart of Roanoke City. So you're talking about two completely different playing fields. So of course I tried to put my creativity into it. Of course I did put my creativity into it. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into it. And it has been, again, a hell of a ride. And I love my team. I love their team. I've absolutely loved this process. I think it's important that I've realized why they reached out to me, right? What they saw in me, and making sure that throughout that collaboration, I was forward with that, forward with community, forward with love, forward with intention, because that's what they saw at the beginning. And I can't give you anything else but the things that we're known for. Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of challenges, but it's been a lot of successes. Way more successes than challenges or downfalls, whatever you want to call it. Some of the challenges that I've probably faced is expectations, right? High expectations of self and our team and our brand, and matching that with what the expectation really is on the other side. Because when we first started this thing, it was, again, I'm head over heels in love. Like, I'm working with the state, right? Like, I'm about to do this. Like, this thing is happening. And then as you get into it, communication stops a little bit. It's not so passionate anymore. It's not a priority anymore. But to us, it's like, wait, this is the biggest thing that could have ever happened to us. So like, we're eyes forward, head up, marching to the sky. So when I realized, like, wait, priorities have changed, that's when I start to really like be able to discern the situations and discern like communications of like, wait. We're not only like not the priority, but like we're like the first. And once I really started to understand like you're the first, a lot of the things that you're expecting has never even happened. It's never even been thought of, or there's no logistics, there's no systems for the things that you want. So you're with high expectations like this, you're set for disappointment. Despite the adversity, I need people to understand like the exposure, the awareness, the growth that we've been able to attain through this collaboration. We've done 3 NASCAR VIP races. I got to start a NASCAR race. We vended at 3 governors summits. I vended at Something in the Water, one of the biggest festivals in Virginia. I vended at Pharrell's Mighty Dream Forum. I got to give him some clothes. Cross collaboration with the Department of Wildlife Resources. We sold out of everything in 90 days and got to donate money back to the nonprofit. I've sold merch to celebrities. Bruce Smith bought over 30 units of teas from me within 10 minutes. I've traveled all across the state. The networking is absolutely nuts. I've done pop-ups in major cities. We were the main merchandiser for the Heart and Soul campaign at Massanutten. And so I'm forever thankful to be able to have that platform, and we did it right with the biggest brand in the state, Virginians for Lovers,
Humble Hustle Clothing, the first Black-owned merchandiser to collaborate with the state. That is really the rewritten narrative in itself.
When we speak about Roses Grow with Love, there's a reason why that came to my mind the moment that I heard we need a, hey, what's the 3.0 collection, right? What's the finale, right? Let's scrap all of this. Let's put all energy towards the last collection, which, is year 3. When I speak about that, there is so much personal growth that has taken place over these last 3 years that, insurmountable. I can't explain. I can't even remotely begin to detail the level of self-awareness and sacrifice and patience and gratitude and grace that has been given not only to myself but to others. When you begin to create your creative process and you start to hone in on your purpose and what God is like giving you as a purpose and a passion, we begin to ask for things, right? We begin to ask, I want this, I want this, I want this, right? You start to write things down. And those things come, but they do not look like what you thought they look like, right? And it's a test, and it tests you. I asked for this, but I ain't asked for all of this, bro. Like, this is crazy, right? Like, this joint will bring it'll bring that dog out you. And if you got a dog in you, then you'll survive. Every fiber within me has so much love for this process. I'll never be able to describe or verbalize the growth that I've seen in me, that I've seen in my team. I've lost people. I've gone through death. I've gone through everything that you can imagine these last 3 years. I've gone through it. But I'm still here. The story is still written. The narrative is rewritten. And yeah, I think there's no other slogan that I could come up with for these last 3 years. And I smile so much because I'm just proud of it. But there's no other slogan that I could come up with better than Roses Grow with Love.
Out of everything beautiful, there had to come some hards. There were some hardships in there. So a beautiful rose, there's thorns. So the more you water it with love and the more you give it that love and nurture it, that's how that bloom becomes a bloom. So yeah, that's why I say roses grow with love. Look at that.
All of that, huh?
Look at that, they're pretty, aren't they? I know. Yep, that's a real pancake. Yep, Cracker Barrel, you ain't got nothing on that baby. Nothing. I think you gotta let your kids, we all think we know our kids, but sometimes there's hidden gems in our kids that we didn't realize are there. And so you gotta give them, like I said, give them that space. Support them, be there at all their events, even when they call you at the last minute, and or they don't tell you at all, and you find out from somebody else an event's going on, you be there. Anyway, no, I was just explaining. No, but just be there for them, and when they need some food for something, if you're not a cook, get somebody else to cook it for them, because especially when it's the last minute and they tell you, hey, I'm just saying things like this happen. I'm just saying things happen. So somewhere in there, you're going to get something out of it as well. You get the benefit of getting a sweatshirt. When he has a pop-up and you slide a sweatshirt out.
A sweatshirt or plural?
No, I don't take plurals. I just take one at a time. I take one at a time, but I buy a whole lot too. That's the other thing. Seriously, all jokes aside, support your kids that way too. Financially, with your business, you have to say, I buy most of my stuff. You may doubt or what have you, but over time, you go through these adversities and you go through more adversities, and then you start looking at those adversities as just adventures. And those adventures is what matures you and grows you to be that pretty rose, because you've learned that through all the fire, somewhere in there, God's going to pour the rain on you, and the rainbow's going to come, and everything's going to be just fine.
When you think about roses and you think about the beauty of a rose and what it symbolizes, not only just for relationships, but why you give somebody a rose, right? Like why you hand somebody a rose, what you're trying to give them, what you're trying to tell them without words. And understanding the process a rose goes through, or any plant, any flower that they go through, you'll understand that love is a word of many words. And if I, to look in the mirror of this entire collaboration, the message that I want to spread globally, nationally, internationally, whatever you want to call it, is love. Believe in yourself. And I know that's super cliche, but really believe in yourself. Like there's an itch that you have in your mind right now of what you're supposed to be doing and what your life is supposed to look like, or what you want your life to look like. And I had that itch. No, I ain't had that itch, but I had that itch. And I went 100 miles an hour trying to figure it out. And I have kicked down doors, and I've knocked down people, and I have came in guns blazing, chasing that passion, chasing that one thing that I knew I'm supposed to be doing this. It all ends up funneling out to really loving yourself, loving what you do, and whatever you're doing, do it with love. And it will always work out. I just want to inspire. I really just want to inspire. I want kids to be able to watch this and understand. I want kids to be able to hear me, see me, be around, feel my energy, and understand, like, you know what? Like, I don't want to do exactly what he does, or maybe I do, but I don't want to move like that. I want to speak like that. Like, I want to believe in myself like that. I want my hopes and dreams to come true because I believe in myself like that. I want to give like that. I want to respect people like that. Like, that's the story I need to be told. For me is I lead with respect. I lead with love, and I give, and it always comes back. So, yeah, I guess the message to the people is, you know what I'm saying, it's love. Yeah.
If you had told me at 21 that I would have managed a partnership like this at this age, I would not have believed you. I would have said that I'm not ready. How can I do something like that? So I think for me personally, roses grow with love. I always tell Xavier, I'm so grateful just to have someone who's been alongside me as I've been growing as a professional and as an individual, to push me, but pushing me with love, never pushing me beyond what he thinks I can do, never pushing me beyond. Of course, he pushes me beyond my own comfort, but that's only because he can see things in me that I don't always see in myself. And I think that's valid of the entire team. So just to have a leader and a partner who believes in you, who sees you fully, and is willing to hold your hand as you go through things and say, hey, I'm here for better or for worse. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but I'll be right here with you the whole time. So I think that's really what Roses Grow with Love means for me, is when you care about people, the people that you work with, the product that you're putting out, the message that you're standing on, and you do that in a way that is consciously cultivated with loving intention and just a certain level of care, that you're going to grow and you're going to blossom. And it's going to be a great thing no matter what the journey looks like, or what the, that rainy season or whatever it was. Just knowing that you have people beside you who are willing to weather the storms with you, you'll be okay. So that's what it means for me. From a partnership perspective, in knowing that we dealt with a state agency, a corporation that's been around for quite a long time and definitely has a very strong reputation. I hope the work that I've done encourages more creatives not to keep their head down when it comes to matters of like business, but to have more confidence to know that you deserve a seat at the table and that your creativity is valuable, and that there are people in this world who will they'll kind of give you air to go under your wings.
The main things that allow me to keep going is one, God. My spiritual relationship trumps all, because when there's nobody to talk to and I'm in this joint crying by myself, right? Because it happens, I can lean on scripture. I can lean on prophecies that were told to me. The route that you choose, there are people on purpose placed in that route that are naysayers, whatever you want, just to see if you believe in yourself that much. Another thing is just like that allows me to keep going is just my family, my friends, my team that has believed and bought into a vision, so I know that I'm not crazy. It's like, wait, no, like we're expecting you to lead. And as you lead, we will follow, because we understand what the hell you see. If you want your rose to really, really bloom, and you want others' roses to really bloom, like that word love comes back in. It's like, bro, if you face this joint with nothing but love and understand that like there's gonna be sacrifice, there's gonna be patience, there's gonna be a whole lot of you don't want to go through, you'll see it on the other side. Right now, I want my legacy to be that I led with love, I led with intention. It was 90% about others, 10% about myself. I've always put the vision out first and made sure others were taken care of. And that's just a testament of my heart. I've got my grandmother on one side that's leading. I've got my grandpa on another side that's leading. And I've got my uncle pushing me too. And I know he's joking, you know what I'm saying some crazy jokes. And he's leading too. And I've got my family in front of me, that's still with me. So I want my legacy to be that I cared. I want my legacy to be that everything that I put my hand on will turn to gold. In some way, shape, but I may not see it. I may not ever see the fruits of my labor. I did a podcast with my boy. We just talked about that. Like, we may not ever see the fruits of our labor, but the labor was put in. Just know the labor was put in, bro. Like, I can't speak on it enough of how much I love my community and I love the trials and tribulations that I've gone for and the opportunities afforded to me, and I will never take anything for granted. And it's not to brag, it's not to boast, but I done seen a lot of stuff. I done gone a lot of places, and my mind is sharp, and I'm sharpening it every day, so that there is longevity with it, and so that there is another time where somebody has to ask me again, what's my legacy, right? But right now, I am walking into, I want people to know that, like, you're dealing with a very creative, catalyzing connecting individual that wants everybody to win. And the only way I know to do that is, by creating opportunities and creating spaces of love. And that's what my grandmother taught me. That's what my pastor has taught me. That's what my church has taught me. That's what my mother has taught me. And that's just what I come from. And I think that's going to be my story is, he led with love and he created spaces of love and the energy was felt. And that roses grow with love.
Yeah, we could be alright. Through them dark days and them long nights, we've seen low lows and we've seen some sky highs. People come and go, yeah, you know that time flies. Just know I got your six, you've always had mine. Been rocking out since we was kids though. Making noise up in my city, I can't tiptoe. You forever kept it real whether we laughed or cried. You know how I gives it up, I cannot play by mine. Good times are gold, and so are good people. Real love's reciprocal. If I never get to show you, remember what I told you. No matter where you go, your heart is on my heart, your soul is on my soul. We good with what we got. Don't mean we don't want more. Living forever, young love, and like there's no tomorrow.